Good morning from the wonderful bush at an undisclosed site, but it's our little favourite site here. Whatever the case where you are, what I'm going to show you this morning, due to popular demand, Richo, you know who you are, I'm going to show you a bit about how to make the morning coffees that we do. For that, so I need some milk and some water. We're going to need a jet boil or something that powers the heat. We're going to need a coffee maker, cups, coffee, and then specifically I'm going to need something to heat milk. I'll show you that in a second. Something to the temperature of the milk and something to froth the milk. So those are the things that I use for the coffees that I like to make. Today, I should say, we're going to make a pod coffee. So we're going to use a specific Wacaco product called an NS2 coffee maker. Alrighty, which looks like this. Okay, so let's get going. First thing to do, we're going to assemble the Jetboil. This is the new fancy Jetboil 3, which I've just got hold of, where the gas fits inside of, as does the cooker. We don't need that. A stand, which on this occasion I'm not going to use. Connect the two together. For those who've got an older Jetboil, you'll see there's a few little differences here, the way you can hold it and the way you can turn it on. I'll show you that in a second. Off comes the new cap on that one, put that up there. And then the first thing I'm going to do is get some water into here. Inside the Jetboil there is a marker about how much water, and I believe it's somewhere around 300 mils that I'm using. I sort of take a little bit of a look. With my failing eyesight, sometimes I can't see exactly how much I put in, but not too much, because really we're only making shots of coffee here. The next thing we can do actually is get the water going, because that's the process that takes a while. New Jetboil, simply on and click and we're away, and then put the stove on. So that's now ready and rocking away. Next thing is we're going to start getting the milk in there, and why we don't want to overfill this too much is we're about to submerge this stainless steel pint glass, which I got from the outdoor show in Frederikshavn in 2013. This one I've amended. I've put some holes in the side, and I'm actually going to use one of our Red Roads tent pegs through there, and that's going to hold the milk in a position where it's just being immersed in the hot water as it gets into the point of boil. So milk for Curl and I, in it goes. About that much. Now I'm going to say this, the Jetboil would definitely not say to recommend this, but this is just the way that I like to do it, and I've never had a problem. So I'm just going to now pop that in there. That's now being immersed in the water, and we can start letting it all get up to temperature. And to know what temperature it is, we're going to need a thermometer. So this is just a very simple on-off thermometer. On it goes. The milk's just come out of the fridge, so it's 20, not even 21 degrees. But already it's starting to heat up, as you'll see here. So that's my little digital gauge. Whilst that's all happening, we want to keep an eye on making sure that the water doesn't boil too far and spill over. It's not ideal. If it does happen, it's not the end of the world. Just be mindful of it. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is start prepping my coffee maker. So this little NS2, just like a coffee pod adapter that you might have on a normal machine. Hot water is going to go in the top. The coffee pod's going to go in here and come out of here, and to do that I'm going to be pumping it. Alright, so that can now sit there. I like to use these coffee pods, which is by Rubra, just because we really like the coffee. Little coffee pods in here, so I'll get two out, one for me, one for Curl. This is all in a little Nespresso kit, along with a little microfiber towel to wipe things up, and a little stand, silicone stand, to keep things all in place. So we'll be using that in a second. In the meantime, we go back to the milk, because it can happen quite quickly, so just be mindful. You can also see on the Jetboil, this thing here shows that the water's actually boiling. So at that point, I start getting pretty mindful. 50 degrees mark at the temperature, and it starts telling me that it's time to be mindful of everything going on. That, when it's fully boiled, will be showing up here. I just now want to make sure that if any water starts to lip or touch the lip of the pint glass, and I'm just lifting it up a little bit. The milk's at 59 degrees at the moment. Now, I've got to admit, what I'll do is I lift it up, give it a bit of a, because that's telling me where the milk temperature is at the bottom. I want to know what the milk temperature is towards the top. So in actual fact, towards the top, it's only 44 degrees. So we're now just going to do the waiting game, where we sit, we wait, we be patient. Again, monitoring that the water doesn't overflow here. I can feel the Jetboil's boiling really well at the moment. And sure enough, the milk is on the rise still. So in the meantime, I've got my frother at hand here. This is just a little lithium ion powered frother. Turn it on, turn it down to a slower speed and off. So that'll be ready. That'll be almost the last thing I do. I've got my pods out. My milk's at 61 degrees. Now I'm going to go up to 80 degrees in my milk. And the reason is that by the time that I've taken the milk off and done my coffee, it will have cooled down to about 70 degrees. So that milk's now sitting at 77.
And I like it extra hot.
And Kel does like it extra hot. So yeah, a little bit of a new thing that I've started doing there. So that's 77, and the water is starting to boil over. So at that point, 80 degrees, out comes the thermometer. It can be put to the side. We know where we're at. Carefully lifting that out, so that's hot. 80 degrees, obviously hot. Leaving that there, and then I can turn off my Jetboil. I'll just move this over here so we can then start looking at what happens next. Coffee pod goes into the coffee machine and screw on. I've noticed that if I go really hard with this particular product, that it actually is very hard to change the coffee half time. And goes hot water into the top. Now I tend to make a little bit of a mess, so hence why I'm doing it on this particular part here. Oh, that's the piece I want to put that on there. And then the coffee starts. So this is a pump. It's got 5 pumps that I do with it, and you'll feel, or 5 or 6, I feel the engagement of the pod. That's when it breaks the seal, and now I can start pumping. As you can see, out of there is coming a beautiful caramel coloured coffee. So that's just like in the espresso machine at home if you have one. We're just pumping it at 18 psi according to the manufacturer's specifications. I tend to pump it about 20 times, and that's about, in my practice, when the coffee starts to change colour. And you can also feel starting to get a little bit easier on that pump action. And it is a bit of a physical workout, but hey, a good coffee. I don't know if you'll be able to show the camera down to that one there, Curl. You'll see a nice creme coffee in there. Woo. So then the last thing we do, the proper whisking. So that's just going to whisk and make that milk a little bit creamier. And actually I've gone quite a bit of milk today, so we may just get a little bit of overflow going on there. And there is a technique, but I'm not very good at it. I just know I like this way. As this Curl, never had a complaint from the customer. And then you can actually hold that quite easily in here, and in goes the coffee. And that to me is a pretty close flat white to what you might receive at your coffee shop. And if I pass this to Curl, I'll grab this and let's see the moment of truth. Go for it, Curl.
Thank you, Chef Az. Barista.
Barista Az.
Superb. Always a beautiful drop.
So there you go. That's my coffee. Hope you like that, Richo especially. I know it's been a long time coming, but that's the Bush Barista, and I hope you like what I've devised there. As you can also see, once I've depacked this down, I'll take a photo in a second. Pack it down, I should say. It's all very compact. So the Nespresso machine and the Jetboil, obviously your water and milk lives slightly differently. Milk in the fridge, water can live wherever. But yeah, it's a really easy way of making a coffee in the bush. Hope you enjoyed it. So great coffee. Curl was happy. Bush Baristas succeeded once again. So I've just cleaned up, and this is my little pack that I leave it all in. So as you can see, it's quite compact. Jetboil, coffee machine, thermal cup, and the pint glass sitting there, along with thermometer at the back, along with the frother and the ever faithful Red Road Sabre tent peg there. So that little kit there is how the Bush Barista works, and it's just, I guess, having it work every time the same way is what I like about this setup. And I'm sure that whatever coffee you like whatever kit you've got will make work. Just knowing that if you like that flat white type of style, heating that milk by an immersion method is the best way of doing it, in my opinion, rather than doing it on a stovetop. And it means everything can happen pretty quickly all at once. Everything stays warm. So I hope you really enjoyed it.